A new year is beginning and many of us have visions of what we want to achieve in 2025, hoping and praying for those things to manifest in our lives, families, and communities. You may also be thinking the same and looking for tools to help you achieve those visions and aspirations. But a famous author once wrote, "A vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. And a vision with action can change the world." As we begin a new year together, let us explore the power of using a vision board to achieve our goals this year, 2025. Hello, welcome. I am Auriane Itangishaka, and this is Our Voices. Happy New Year, everyone. And a very happy new year to begin this year with my awesome co-host, as usual, Ginny, Niwa, and Simegnish, Yeyoke. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello, Happy New Year.
And of course, I want to thank those who are working behind the scenes to make sure that these shows take place, and our very special executive producer, DJ Mary McIntosh. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes, yes.
I guess we start by saying Happy New Year.
Yes, why not? We can begin with our very non-alcoholic beverage to celebrate.
Yes.
Now, ladies, as you do that, I'm truly honored to be part of this show and to be with you and every year for your love and your support in the good times and in not so good times of 2024. And I'm wondering, what are you looking forward to in 2025?
So I will start. Yes. I did a lot of things towards the end of 2024. So I will explore those things some more. I start exercising. Okay. We're talking about vision board. I did that. Something that I was dragging for so many reasons, and we'll explore that. One of the reasons why was like it was just technical, like where I'm gonna get these, when I'm gonna get that, and then I was like, just do it. So I did that vision board. I getting closer to my community, running as a Secretary General for the Congolese community, and all of this, yes, towards the end of the year. So
we are looking forward to that election.
Yes,
yes, that's awesome.
Thank you. So yeah, 2025 should be a very interesting year.
Very nice. Lily, what are you waiting for in 2025?
I don't have a vision board. I never thought I would have one. Maybe we'll discuss that more later. But in general, I think 2025, I want it to be a me year. I want to have more me time. I want to focus on myself. I want to intentionally pay attention to my body, to my mental health, to my physical health. I want to add more skills, things like that will make me grow professionally and personally as a mother, as a wife. So I really want it to be a me year.
That's awesome. You know, I smile when I hear that, when a woman actually takes time to be selfish a little bit and just say, it's me. You know, I'm always giving.
And we don't do that.
It's time for me. So I'm inspired, and I think I'm going to try to do a little bit of that. For me, in 2025, one of the longest study of Harvard University for happiness that's been done over 80 years looked at what makes people happy. And one of the things the thing that they realized was that building community and having warm connections and relationship is what makes people happy. So I'm looking forward in 2025 to make my connections warmer and happier and stronger. And of course, you know, you also inspired me when you talked about learning new skills. I want to learn an instrument. I'm always telling my children to learn an instrument. I want to learn an instrument. It's never too late.
Never too late.
So I'm going to do that.
Let's cheers to that.
Let's cheers to that.
You know, Happy New Year and good luck to us.
Yes. So more about that. In Tanzania, the arrival of 2025 symbolizes more than just a new year. It represents a canvas for bold aspirations. Meet three remarkable women whose dreams have evolved into actionable missions driven by passions and purpose. VOA's Lulu Sanga reports from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
It is a new year, 2025, and for many, an opportunity to set bold goals for the future. However, for three extraordinary women, these goals are more than aspirations. They are mission backed by action plans. This is their story. Meet Dr. Catherine Kahabuka, a mother of two and the founder of CREAMS International, a research and capacity building firm operating in Tanzania and Kenya. While juggling roles with multiple international organizations, she recently launched a new office in Nairobi. For Dr. Catherine, Setting bold goals and even intimidating goals is the key to her success.
If anyone ever tells you that they have achieved all their set goals, that basically means their goals were not bold enough. So by setting bold goals, it pushes me to achieve more. For example, one of my goals was to have one international office by 2024, which I did. We launched our first international office in Nairobi this year. So I usually have goals for 5 years. I make sure that to achieve annual goals, I also break those into monthly goals. Then you have something we call quick wins, which is very important towards making progress. I have an accountability partner for my financial goals. So this is somebody I share. If I say I'm gonna set this amount on a monthly basis for my retirement plan, every time I do that, I share with this person.
Amarisa Mwako is a powerhouse of creativity and innovation, a strategic food content creator, event organizer, and tech entrepreneur leading Envirosasa, an environmental initiative. I caught up with her in one of her busy days as she works toward her ambitious goals she's set for 2024.
I have long-term goals and short-term goals, and they guide me on how to break them down year to year. Now, everything about 2025 for me is based on the long-term goal that we have in whatever that we're building. So the picture that we have guides me in making bold decisions. So I invest a lot in the team that I'm working with to make sure that they understand my vision, and they're even excited more than I am excited about the visions and the goals that we are setting. But as well, I'm not planning them alone. Sometimes you sit down with the team, they question you, they challenge you, and you agree because you guys are always working together. It's tough, very hard. You sometimes cry. You plan a thing, it's not working the way you wanted it to work, but you wake up every day facing the same challenge as you have never faced it again until it moves. There's always a mountain to move one day after the other. But what I thank God for is that stamina from inside to make sure that I'm looking at the mountains and making sure they move at my command.
Deborah Nyaksinda, founder of NESA Foundation, leads the Save Mountain Kilimanjaro campaign. She also works with the community with the long-term goal of planting 1 billion trees by 2050 to help restore glacier at Africa's highest peak.
I do write goals, write an activity. Every goal have an activity, but also time. I put time. When do I want this goal to be matured? Not everything you plan and the time you make will come the way you want. I failed many times, but also in that fair I learn a lot. Meeting with the right people to make your goals become reality. For myself, I have some 2-3 people. The activity, I'm the one who write even the activities, but I have to consult somebody. Some goals can take even 5 years. Don't compare with anybody when you want your goals to become in reality.
These women are determined to prove that achieving goals takes vision, strategy, and unwavering determination. Their journeys are a powerful reminder that action, not just ambition, creates a meaningful change. For VOA, I am Lulu Sanga in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
To dive deep into this, we are delighted to have here with us in studio Dr. Chichi Nwajei, a personal development coach dedicated to helping individuals embrace their true potential and achieve success. She is an author of Dream Big, a transformative guide to achieving success with practical tools and clear steps. Dr. Chichi, Happy New Year, and thank you so much for being with us on this very first show of the year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, ladies.
Cheers.
Happy New Year. Cheers,
Thank you so much for
everyone.
coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're going to go right deep into the questions because we are so excited about this actual tool that we can use to achieve success. You have dedicated a great deal of time to helping people about using a vision board for success. How does that create an effective, how does one create an effective vision board?
Great question. A lot of people have ideas in their heads, and it helps to have a visual representation of those ideas. Clarity is important. So before you can pass that to others and impact them, you need to organize what you really want to do and how you're going to achieve it. So that is where the vision board comes in.
So I am a big advocate of vision boards, if there's such a thing. And I felt like once I put that on the board, I felt like, okay, now it's out there, I can think of something else. But it took me time to do that vision board because I was thinking, oh, where I'm going to get my stickers and things like that. So for people who are dealing with the same thing, who maybe think that they do not have the material, is there different ways to have a vision board, different tools you can use, or it's only one paper and sticking things on it?
There are people who like to journal, and there are people who like to write things down. But the difference between actually creating a vision board between people and how they like to do things is that the vision board is a visual reminder. And so you have to have some kind of clip out, like you can cut out from magazines. People have booklets they can order that already have stickers on them. People can have like markers. You know, anything that you think represents what you want to work on. So sometimes some people may take $1 bill and place that on there because for them, they want to make more money in 2025. So those visuals are there so that when you wake up in the morning, before you go to bed at night, that is one area that you can say, I looked at my vision board and I'm being reminded to stay on track and stay focused.
But is it for everyone? Because I, for example, feel like it could be jinxing it, putting it out there, saying it out loud, or sharing it with other people might actually ruin my dream. And so is it for everybody?
I agree with her 100% because a lot of times, even the superstitious community, that's the thought process.
Yeah, it's really not for everybody. To be on an honest platform where you can really express yourself, there are people who get exhausted because they are thinking too hard. The problem is, if you don't put your goals out, you can watch your time just go past and you don't do anything about it. Now, there are people who like to do this in a group setting so that they feel like they're staying accountable to someone. On the other part, there are people who make New Year resolutions and never get to do anything that they promise themselves they're going to do. So you have to keep yourself accountable some kind of way. And if the vision board is not for you, maybe you don't feel like you're a visual person that needs to have it in that form, write it down. Create it in a system that relates to your personality and make sure it's done. And we're talking about SMART goals. And so it has to be specific. It has to be measurable. Achievable, right?
I
realistic
guess
and timed.
Talk about that.
Yes.
Achievable, because some people do things that are somewhat not achievable.
Bigger than what they can handle, and it gets overwhelming.
Well, what I was thinking is once you have that vision board, which you'll show us later, how do you make yourself, stick to it? How do you turn it into action?
So she was saying that we will have a segment just to go more into that detail, because it's not enough. It's not a party. It's not enough to just say I did a vision board in a party setting. You did not go there to have a party. You went there to set goals that will impact lives. Do you understand? It's not just a fun activity. It's actually a reality that you can bring to pass, but you got to do something about those goals.
Right. How do you make those goals a reality?
That is so key. Now, if you're the kind of person that feels like just having the vision board is not enough, that helped you pull out the ideas. It helped you put them in order, right? Clarity. If you feel like I now need some other ways that I can continue to do what I said I'm going to do, that's where you might add more tools.
Yes, I have a journal. So
there
I
you
think
go.
you mentioned something about some people like writing.
Right,
I will write my day down. This is what I'm going to do at 9 a.m., at 10 a.m. I think that also could be, besides a vision board, something that I can use.
Absolutely. You need to plan. You need to review on a daily basis. You need to reset. Like if you have your daily goals, that is going to guide you for the day. Let's say you did not complete everything you put on that daily goal. You can go back the next day, and that's how you can continue to review on yourself. You are not helping yourself by just writing things down or creating a vision board without really following through with what you said you're going to do. Is it a hard thing to do? Not really. Because even if you don't accomplish the first 5 things, you did 3, you can pat yourself on the back.
And you have
this started with planning.
I know.
But it had to be completed when it was actually done. But there was a process. What happens in that middle portion is important. Do you lose track and go off? Or do you continue to go back and say, you know what? Let me get back to those goals.
I love this conversation, and we are going to definitely continue, but it's time for a short break. When we return, we'll take a look practically at what a vision board looks like, how it works, and what steps one can take for success. So, what are your thoughts on this topic? Share this with us on our social media platforms at VOA Africa. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Use the hashtag VOA Our Voices. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depends on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
You're watching VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for joining us each week. Right here on Red Carpet, we bring you the latest in
health, wellness, sport, beauty, medical breakthroughs. Healthy Living cares about your well-being. What are the main health concerns in Africa and around the world? Find out the latest on coronavirus. Connect with our experts and ask them questions.
How long does the virus stay?
Join me, Linoch Mudu, in Washington, every week on Healthy Living, right here on VOA.
Welcome back. This is Our Voices. We are discussing using a vision board to attain goals or milestones in life with practical tools such as vision board. With us is Dr. Chichi Nwajei, a personal development coach dedicated to helping individuals embrace their true potential and achieve success. She's also the author of Dream Big, a transformative guide to achieving success with practical tools and clear steps. She's going to show us shortly on how to make a vision board, but before we get into our discussion, let's go to the Ugandan capital, Kampala, and hear what some women think about this issue. We spoke to civil servant Gracious Abula, fashion designer, Maureen Bira, banker, Aaron, and two students, Darkus Ashnet and Patience Aijokuru, in our Your Voice segment.
I set my goals basing on last year's achievements. Basically, my last year I planned to do school, which I enrolled. I'm currently doing my master's. And then I'm a healthy person. I work out, I do a lot of gym, I do marathons, and I eat well. So basically me, it is eating well and living healthy.
The year hasn't been bad, basically. Then my resolutions for the next year are, I'm looking more at family and my job. Since I'm a banker, I'm looking at growing my career. I'm doing my MBA.
Well, my new resolution for next year, something I want to start up next year, I want to start a thrift business dealing in tops. Well, basically tops are shirts, just female clothing. Basically those shirts like that, skirts, and then maybe some few dresses. yeah, maybe if it allows, and the way I want to get to that, how to do that, I want to start that in January. So I've been trying to do some gigs around, saving up some money, so that I'm able to start up that next year.
I'm aiming at getting high grades in my academics, then even increasing on my customer base for my customized business.
Most of the year, I've been doing a lot of community work. A bit of my year was interrupted because I had to take care of my uncle who was not well, so I was too informed. Most of my goals were not really attained, but what I plan to do next year and what I would advise everyone to be intentional about their goals they set. Sometimes you may not be able to attain them, but don't lose hope. Always be intentional that things will be better and you'll be better.
Everybody want to make their lives better, right?
Yes.
And I'm a proponent of a vision board, even though I don't have one, and I think I'm going to work on one. Dr. Chichi, can you tell us the process of making a vision board and making sure you're not doing what everybody else is doing?
Absolutely. Honestly, the vision board is for the person making it. This is not for the people. So don't make excuses, don't make it about others. What is most important to you? You can also create different aspects. So you may want to work on finances, you might want to work on your health, you might want to work on family time, me time, just whatever it is that you're trying to work on and make it better for this year of 2025. That can be your focus, and you can now create different segments and the materials that you're going to use to make them. Again, I talked about having those goals clearly stated. So is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it something that is relatable? Can you go back and time yourself and say, this is a time frame that I'm going to have this done? So those are very important because it helps you stay focused. You may not want to try to do everything, but you can at least focus on the ones that you can do and you can see yourself making progress. So again, a lot of visual items that you can use, so you can section them off, or you can just make your vision board for just one.
Okay.
You don't have to have multiple
things. So you said everybody has their different ones.
Correct.
Niwa can tell us what was the thought process in doing hers, because that's yours personally.
Yes, so mine, I remember Simegnish was talking about how she wasn't comfortable showing it, so witches, stay away from my vision board. But so in the center, mine is like a circle in my mind. That's how I see it. So in the circle, everything that has to do with spirituality, because to me, everything is going to be back to spirituality. So you see any symbols of religion and spiritual, and then babies, life goals, marriage, and like you said, those goals needs to be measurable. And, with my age, I know, I can, I only have a certain time to achieve those goals. And anything that has to do with finance is down there, physical health. So that's how mine works. It's a circle because life is a full circle.
So how can you help her make sure that she's actually following that circle? Should she start with the most important things or the most attainable?
Yeah, the truth is that it has to be a system that flows with you. A system that flows with you can be, I want to make sure my spiritual life is intact. Then I can mentally settle into other aspects. So you may want to follow that. And I wanted to just mention, not everybody has to frame their vision board. Some people like to place it on the refrigerator. They want it to be where they can see it. So what you have done, you can actually create a system for yourself and say, you know what, on a daily basis, I'm going to go around this circle that I've created because I want to keep track and follow that same system that was in my head when I was building it. Yes, you can definitely follow the cycle. And that can help you stay on track. For other people, it's about believing in what you're doing. Don't make it about validation from outside. Because sometimes we talk ourselves out of big dreams because we want to make sure that everybody agrees with us. What if you start believing in yourself? What if you say, I can do this?
Dr. Chichi, I have a question. I'm learning so much about vision boards today. But how often should you engage with these vision boards to make sure that you stick to it and you make it?
My honest opinion is that you have to have a daily check-in on everything you're doing. So if you have your journal and you have now transferred some items into that journal, or even on the telephone, there are different apps and things that people use, you can tell yourself, these are my daily goals. Some goals are weekly. So you can check in based on how you want to accomplish what you're doing.
Good.
And what if you're not getting to those results?
Good.
What
So
do you do?
is that what you describe on this book? Is
Exactly.
that what people will find if they read this book?
Absolutely. The
And
tools are there.
What I want to know is this a Western concept, or it can be anywhere in the world, maybe just in a different form?
I believe that some cultures are more used to vision boards than others, but we are all about being global and we can learn. So if you haven't seen yourself achieving those goals in the past years, why not start with a vision board? And this might be what can unlock that part of you to actually start things and complete them.
Awesome.
Some people start and they don't complete.
Right, because there are some impossible things that you feel like this is just, I cannot put it on the board because it's impossible. How do you deal with those emotions of saying, you know what, I'm not going to visualize that house because I don't think I can afford that house.
Yes.
What do you do?
I believe that we have to make sure that our goals are attainable. You know, so if you're already living in an apartment and you know you may not be able to move into $1 million home, what do you need to do financially to get your credit ready for that much bigger goal? But if you move from one step to the next bigger step, you're also preparing yourself for the growth. Because some people, when they grow too quickly, they get overwhelmed.
Yes.
So I believe that you can do anything you put your mind to do.
I agree 100%. And sometimes people do put things and say, let me just believe in it. No, you have to work on your goals.
Yes. Have a plan, yes, yes. And if you think you can, then you can. But if you think you can't, then maybe you're right. So everything is a mindset. You got to find that balance also in believing in what you have put down.
That's a very good advice for 2025.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, that's amazing, and we are so grateful. This is our show for today. Thanks for our guest, Dr. Chichi Nwajei, author of Dream Big, a transformative guide to achieving success with practical tools and clear steps. It was an absolute pleasure. Be sure to go to VOA's website, voaafrica.com, or our YouTube channel, where you can catch up on our latest episode of Our Voices and the top news stories from around the globe. On behalf of VOA, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, Happy New Year.